Welcome to another episode of Alive on South Beach. I'm Stuart Stewart.
I'm Dina Stewart.
And this is a show that has a little bit of this
and a little bit of that.
So stay tuned, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy.
So the 1 week limit, we're going to do it up by
Hi, I'm with Betty Alvarez, who is one of the biggest social butterflies in Miami.
So he says.
Yeah. Why don't you explain to the public what you do so they'll understand why you're all over the place?
Sure. I mean, I am, I work for the Broadway channel, Welcome channel, for over 6 years right now, and I love it. I deal with New York and Miami clients, and it's wonderful. Freelance. Apart from that, I'm an events photographer.
So your job is to just go to parties and party.
I party with a purpose.
Okay.
That's my motto. I party with a purpose.
That's still not a bad job.
It's not a bad job. Not really like a bad job.
How many people out there would love to spend their time just going to parties, even with a purpose? Well,
there you go.
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
That makes you one of the luckiest people in Miami.
That's correct.
And standing with me is David Brown, who is one of the people who's attending this event, which is made up of chambers from all around the neighboring cities and various municipalities around Miami. So David, tell me, why are you here?
Hi Stuart, how are you?
Good, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Well, I like to stay in the mix. I attend quite a few different kind of events like this to meet people, to promote Miami, and to tell people about the things that I do.
I met this lovely young lady here. Her name is Deanne Graham.
Yes, sir.
And she is with Welcome to Miami and the Beaches, a publication that specifically tells tourists where to go and what to do.
That's right.
How did you get involved with something like that?
Oh, now that's a long story. Shortly after 9/11, they said we need salespeople, not administrative people. So I got into sales and marketing, and I love it. Best thing I ever did. I'm working right now.
What do you love about it?
Being around people, enjoying the different venues, enjoying the different activities and events, and at the same time I'm working.
You know, South Beach has a reputation for having parties for everything. Some are for non-profits and people go because it's for a good cause, and some are just blatantly over-the-top commercial ventures.
And these are the ones we went to this week, all on Lincoln Road.
Oh, okay. So tell me your name.
My name Eddie, French.
Hi, I'm Stuart Stewart. And how did you come to this party?
I speak a little English, I speak French.
Here we are on top of the 1111 building on Lincoln Road, and this is one of the most unique party arenas in the city. It's completely open, and the rest of the week it's usually a garage, but tonight it's a great party to promote all the automobiles. But that's not why we're here. I met a gentleman at the party that I think you ought to know. His name is, and tell us.
Jonathan Spikes. I'm the author of I Know What I Am and I Am Not What You Call Me.
And my question is, what do people call you and who are you?
This story is a book about hope and triumph, understanding that sometimes in life we're going to have some difficult situations, but some people tend to get stuck in those situations, and other people use it to make them a better, stronger individual. You know, today we have so many kids who are killing themselves because they've been bullied and taunted. And it's a story to let them know that, number one, you're not alone, because I have suffered some of the same things, but you don't have to give up. You know, you just have to keep pushing forward,
So how do you deal with it? What could you tell a kid who feels really there's no hope? And you've been through it, so you could talk about it from the standpoint, I've been there and I've done that and I know there is hope. What would you tell that kid?
One of the most profound things that someone told me is that when anybody call you out of your name, ugly, stupid, fat, or whatever, they told me to always reply, that's not what God said. And that was the most profound thing. No matter what they say about you, that is not what God said. He said you're more than that.
I'm always talking about people who have an abundance of what they need and what they do with that abundance. And standing next to me is a man who is really amazing. His name is Sean Lightbourne, and he every year throws a birthday party as a fundraiser and donates the money to a charity. And that is just so wonderful that I thought we ought to meet him. So, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's definitely a pleasure to be here tonight.
How did you get started in doing this?
From a very young age, my mom and my dad who's in from the Bahamas tonight, they've always been philanthropists throughout our community, always giving back to the folks that is less fortunate than we are. And from a child, she embedded and instilled that in me. And as an adult, I continue to carry on her legacy by giving back to charities.
That is amazing, and I hope everybody out there sees how important parents as role models could be. Right now with Diana Susie, who is with IUTA, which is one of the most amazing community organizations on South Beach. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh my gosh, we've been on Miami Beach since 1977, so for over 33 years. And what we do has everything to do with enriching children's lives. We work with very young parents to prevent child abuse and neglect. We work with teens to prevent gang participation. And we want to educate them so that they can get to the highest possible levels in their own lives. It's all about enrichment.
Well, it's about a lot more, because how do you pay for stuff like this?
We pay from our hearts, we pay with grant monies, we pay with events like this and private donors. We are always trying to send the message out that it's one community, it's one world, and we all need to be a part of it.
And we all need to support each other, because it takes a village. Sitting next to me is a mother and a grandmother, and I invited her here because we're going to talk about erotic art. This is Naomi Wilsick, and she is the largest or biggest collector of erotic art in the world and has created a museum dedicated to erotic art. Welcome to our little show.
Thank you.
And I think what the audience needs to know, what's the distinction between erotic art and pornography?
Pornography gives one message. Let's just get it on sexually. Erotic art is connotated by that second word, art. You regard erotic art as you would any fine piece of art. You look at it, it's whether the talent of the artist, the meaning, the thought process. Are you involved in it? Does it give you a feeling? Does it give you an emotion? Does it make you think about something? So with erotic art, you interact as you would when you're admiring or looking at any piece of art.
So that's an interesting distinction. Now, the key question that I'm curious in, how did you become a collector and why?
By accident. I actually was an antique collector. And my older son had heard that you can find erotic art in the antique world. And he called me one day and asked me if I would keep my eyes out to find him some conversation pieces, erotic conversation pieces for a new apartment he was moving into. And at first I had no idea of what he was talking about because I had no knowledge of erotic art. So I went from being a novice and not even knowing what I was looking for, to becoming the country's expert.
And approximately how large is your collection?
Just about 4,000 pieces all over the world.
Wow. And if anybody comes to Miami Beach, we have a couple of museums here. We have the Bass Museum, we have the Wilsonian, but we also have the World's Erotic Art Museum. So please stop by and you'll be amazed of what you'll see. It's not pornography, it's really, really art.
What's your, okay, I'll give you a selection here. 50s or 60s music, 60s television, or 70s music. And I'll give you a question.
I'm not picking any of that stuff.
Okay, you tell me a
How
favorite.
about 50s music?
50s music. You stopped at the right spot over here. Okay, the group back in the 50s, lead singers, back in the late 50s was called the Platters. The Platters. What, they had about 5 or 6 great hits. Tell me a couple of those songs. What were they?
I think I need you.
In heaven, again, my friend, heavenly shades of night, it's twilight, only you, yes, I'm the great pretender. My pleasure, darling, my pleasure.
Well, we reached the end of another episode, and it's almost such a nice surrounding here at the Books and Books Cafe on Lincoln Road that I think I'm going to stay and finish my coffee. So until next week, I wish everybody well. This is Stuart Stewart.
And Dina Stewart.
And here we are, once again, alive on South Beach for syndicatednews.net.